Welcome. This is Charlene from Sound Sewing in the PFAFF Creative Sewing Center. We are today going to show you the Platinum MN1000. This is the 10 needle embroidery machine by Husqvarna Viking that is now available at Husqvarna stores, including our store. It comes with actually 4 hoops. So the hoops it comes with that it attaches to the machine is a 190 by 140 millimeter, which is about a 7.4 by 5.5 inch hoop. It also comes with a 110 by 110 millimeter hoop, which is a 4.3 square hoop in inches. A nice tiny little hoop, which is a 70 millimeter by a 50 millimeter, which is a 2.7 by 1.9, great for embroidering on onesies for babies or socks. It also comes with a bigger hoop, which is the 310 by 210 millimeter, which is basically 12.2 inches by 8.2 inches, which I have ready to go for today. It also has 2 hat hoops. Here's one of them. We have another one over here that's actually on the hat docking station that allows you to actually attach the hat to the hoop, which we've already done and embroidered, and we'll do this on a later video for you guys. And then of course, it comes with the hoop carriage that actually goes right onto the machine when you're ready for it to actually embroider out your hoops, your hats. So that's for embroidering your hats. So on this machine, it has, again, 10 needles, so you can actually put on 10 spools of thread. They could be anywhere from really large, 5,000 yard spools or bigger, and they could just be little 1,100 yard spools or even the 200 millimeter spools. It has these tubes so that the thread will not tangle, so static electricity will not make these all combined. So these tubes are here to keep all your threads from misbehaving. On the machine itself, it comes with this beautiful colored touchscreen. The touchscreen allows you to go in and bring up your designs. You can move your designs. You can pick your color choices, your embroidery speed, and all of that. Right now, it remembers something I had done yesterday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlock the padlock so I can show you some things this machine can do. So I'm now in the editing mode. If I go into my file, I can find that on the machine here, which is the flower with the closed padlock, that there are 105 built-in designs already on the machine. I could also go and choose my USB stick, which right now I have the 16 gigabyte USB stick that came with the machine, and it's showing me what is on my stick right now. I could select any one of them and it would show me down here of what that design is, so I can decide if I want it. In this, it is telling me certain aspects about this design, that the stitch count is 43,000 stitches. It has 10 color changes. It tells me the X and Y coordinates and size of the machine, of the embroidery design itself. I am actually going to go use one of the built-in ones. I actually have a book I printed out, so I have all these stitches already memorized and know what I want. I am going to go and pick number 75. 75 is showing again to me right down here. So it's kind of like scrollette, a pretty big one, only a 2 color, and I'm going to press OK. This machine likes to beep at you to say that it took my selection, so it did pull it up. Now I can actually go into my design set. And in my design set, I could change the X or the Y size of my design. I could actually make it bigger or smaller. I could come in, and this is a rotation, so I could rotate it 90-degree increments, or I could rotate it by a certain number of degrees. For instance, if I wanted only to rotate it 7 degrees, I could touch this number, type in 7 and OK, and it would do it. I do not want to rotate, so I'm going to leave it alone. If I had a smaller design, I could do multiple. So let's say if I was doing little lace ornaments, I can make rows of them and columns and space them out with these 4 icons here to do multiple lace designs. Right here is where I want to touch, which tells me about the different hoops that I can use. And the one I'm going to use today is the 310 by 210. So I'm going to touch that. And I'm going to press OK. And everything moved to accept it. Once I have done that and it has accepted it, I'm just going to exit out. Now I'm ready to actually go pick my my threads that I'm going to use. So again, I have 10 threads up here, but it only needs 2 thread colors to embroider this out. So I am going to go into my thread choices, and I want to embroider out with a red and a black. I know that they're already on my machine. I have one in the color in the spot number 3. So I'm going to tell it I want you to embroider needle 3. Next color I want is in needle 4. So I'm going to tell it needle 4. Then I'm going to tell it okay. Now I'm going to attach my hoop. But before I do that, I want to make sure I have a bobbin inside. So I'm going to open this up, pull out my bobbin. Sure enough, I do not have a bobbin. I do have one right here. This does take standard pre-wound L-class bobbins. So you just put it in to your tensioning like you normally would for a separate bobbin. So it goes all the way in. When you pull on it, it should go clockwise. Then I turn around and put it through my pigtail little corkscrew thing. Then now I'm going to come and attach it. Now it is pretty dark right here. If I want, I could turn on my light so I can have better lighting. That's on my screen. So I'm just going to come up here and turn on my light so now we can see a little bit better in there. So my bobbin is now installed. So I'm going to close the door, make sure my thread stays in there. So I'm going to take my hoop, I'm going to put it under the needles, and then I'm going to go under these brackets on both sides and snap it in, and it snaps right into place. So I make sure that they're in both of these notches. Right here, and there's one on the other side. Just make sure my fabric and everything is clear. Now I am ready to start stitching out. So to do that, I need to actually padlock this to say I'm ready to go into stitch out mode. And I am going to say okay. This design I actually have up is a VP3 design. That is what format it uses. However, this machine will read VP3, which is a Husqvarna PFAFF format, but it also will read Tajima DST. So you can use both on here. The next thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure I know where the parameter of my design is going to be in here. So I'm going to come onto my screen and ask it to open up my trial. I'm going to ask it to trial it. It moves to needle 1 and it will come off of this foot here and trace to let me know about where this design is going, which is a fairly large design. I am going to bring this design down just a little bit. If you notice though, when I came down, I got a red line here because I accidentally went out of my hoop field. So I got to come back a little bit so I make sure that that line is no longer there. I'm going to trial it again so I can make sure I have it right where I want, and again, I'm watching it off of this foot. Now I'm ready to go, so I'm going to press OK. And now my start stop button is green, so that means I am ready to stitch. Then it cuts the thread for you at the very end, and we just put our thumbs on our thumb rest and push our hoop up and out, and you have a finished embroidery design ready for you to make into a pillow or anything you like. Come into Sound Sewing in Silverdale, Washington, and let's show you more about our 10 needle machine and what else you can do with it. Thank you.